Imagine standing at two different roads. One looks exciting, full of quick success, easy rewards, and endless opportunities. The other looks ordinary, quiet, and almost boring. Most people choose the exciting road without thinking twice. But what if I told you that the biggest mistake you'll ever make probably won't look dangerous when you make it? It won't announce itself with flashing warning signs. Instead, it will look harmless. Just one small decision, one tiny compromise, one shortcut that seems too insignificant to matter. And yet, years later, that single choice could quietly destroy everything you've spent your life trying to build. Long ago, in a peaceful village surrounded by rolling hills and olive trees, there lived a master builder whose reputation spread far beyond his hometown. Travelers journeyed for days just to see the homes he constructed. His buildings survived storms that flattened entire neighborhoods. His walls never cracked. His roofs never collapsed. People often wondered if he possessed some secret knowledge that no other builder understood. As the years passed and the old builder's hair turned silver, young apprentices began arriving from distant villages, eager to learn from the master. Every one of them asked the same question: "Master, what is the secret to building something that lasts?" They expected him to reveal a rare tool, a special type of stone, or an ancient technique passed down through generations. But instead of answering, the old man simply smiled and invited them to build alongside him. Each apprentice received exactly the same materials, the same amount of timber, the same stone, the same tools, the same amount of time. At first, everything looked identical. One by one, the houses began taking shape. Strong walls rose from the ground. Beautiful wooden doors were installed. Windows reflected the warm afternoon sunlight. Visitors walking through the village admired every home, unable to tell which apprentice had built which house. One of the young men laughed confidently. "They all look exactly the same," he said. "Maybe there was never a secret after all." The old builder smiled, but he didn't answer. Instead, every evening after the apprentices finished working and returned home to rest, the old man quietly walked through the construction site alone. He never stopped to admire the roofs. He never inspected the walls or complimented the decorations. Instead, he knelt beside each house, placing his hands against the foundation hidden beneath the earth. One apprentice eventually noticed this strange routine. Curiosity got the better of him, and one evening he approached the builder. "Master," he asked, "why do you spend so much time looking at something no one will ever see?" The old man slowly stood, brushed the dirt from his hands, and looked directly into the young apprentice's eyes. "Because one day," he said softly, "everyone will." The apprentices exchanged confused glances, unsure of what he meant. Several weeks later, the houses were complete. Families eagerly moved into their new homes. Children played in the streets. Laughter filled the village. It seemed as though every apprentice had succeeded equally. Then the rainy season arrived. Dark clouds swallowed the sky. Strong winds swept across the valley. Rain poured down without stopping for 3 long days. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but by the second day, tiny cracks appeared near the doorway of one house. The owner noticed them, but shrugged. "They're only small cracks," he said. "Nothing to worry about." By the following morning, those cracks had spread across the walls. The floor began to shift beneath their feet. Then, without warning, the entire house collapsed into a pile of broken stone and shattered timber. The village stood frozen in shock. The apprentice who built that house stared at the ruins in disbelief. Tears filled his eyes as he turned toward the old builder. "I don't understand," he whispered. "I used the same wood, the same stone, the same tools. Why did only my house fall?" The old builder walked quietly toward the broken foundation. He knelt down, scooped a handful of wet soil into his hand, and allowed it to slip slowly through his fingers. "You rushed where no one was looking," he replied. Silence filled the village. "You spent hours making beautiful walls because that's what people could see, but you spent only minutes strengthening the foundation because you believed no one would ever notice." The apprentice lowered his head, unable to deny the truth. He had taken shortcuts beneath the surface, convincing himself that appearances mattered more than preparation. The old builder gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "Your future is built long before anyone sees it." Those words stayed with the young man for the rest of his life. Years later, he became one of the most respected builders in the region, not because he learned to build faster, but because he learned to never sacrifice the unseen parts for the visible ones. The story reminds us of something Jesus taught. He spoke about two men who both built houses, both experienced the same storm, both faced the same wind and rain, yet only one house remained standing. The difference wasn't the storm. The difference was the foundation. That's how life works. Many people spend years building successful careers, growing businesses, chasing wealth, earning recognition, or trying to impress others. They invest enormous energy into what everyone else can see, while neglecting the things that truly support it all: character, integrity, patience, humility, faith, and obedience. Those qualities rarely receive applause. They don't go viral. Most people never notice them, but God does. And when life's storms eventually arrive, and they always do, it won't be your reputation, your income, or your popularity that keeps you standing. It will be the foundation you built when no one else was watching. The greatest tragedies rarely happen because of one catastrophic mistake. More often, they happen because of hundreds of small compromises that seemed harmless at the time. One dishonest decision, one shortcut, one excuse, one moment when character was exchanged for convenience. So before asking God for greater opportunities, ask yourself a different question. What am I building beneath the surface? Because people judge your walls. God examines your foundation, and one day, the storms of life will reveal which one truly mattered. So don't spend your life trying to build the tallest house. Build the strongest foundation, because success without character never lasts, and the decisions no one notices today become the life everyone sees tomorrow.